Thank you for being here. I want to start by asking you something really honestly. If you can, put it in the chat, that'd be great. But how many of you came onto this call already a little behind? Maybe you had a meeting run over, maybe you grabbed your lunch in a hurry, maybe you're sitting here thinking about the long to-do list before you can enjoy your weekend, which your weekend will be filled with, the weekend to-do list. Sound familiar? Yes, it is summer, but this is still our life, right? So that right there, that chronic low level urgency you carry every single day, that's what I want to talk about for the next 30 minutes. Because that feeling is not just stress, but mental stress, it is a physiological event happening inside your body. You think it's just in your head, and over time, it is changing your hormones, your gut, your weight, your sleep, your immune system in ways that most standard assessments will completely miss. Hi, my name is Shan Wright. I'm a registered nurse with 20 years in healthcare and a holistic practitioner, and someone who has spent, honestly, the last 3 years battling something that was slowly destroying my body. And it was trying to tell me while I kept showing up and pretending I was fine. But I was convicted. I was convicted of actually a Bible verse. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, whom you have received as a gift from God, and that you are not your own property? You were bought with a price, so then honor your body and glorify God with your body. That's 1 Corinthians 6:19 to 20. This hit me hard, and I remembered my calling of stewardship. Caring for your body is not selfish. It is sacred, holy work. You cannot pour from empty, and you cannot lead well from a depleted nervous system. So, saying yes is an act of faithfulness to yourself, to your calling, to your identity, and to every person who needs you whole. So, reclaim your holistic wellness starting at the root. By the end of today, I want you to walk with two things: a real understanding of what's happening inside your body right now, and a clear way to finally get answers of the root. So then you can honor God with your body. Okay, here is the science of what is happening. When you spot that mama bear that will do anything to protect her cub, you see this picture here. She is ready to pounce if she thinks that there's a threat to her baby cub. That is acute stress. And what I learned in nursing school was that it's an acute response, right? It's a perceived threat. The HPA axis fires, cortisol and adrenaline flood the system, blood pressure rises, glucose mobilizes. You're sharp, you're fast, you're ready. That system is brilliant. It was designed to save your life. And it is your mama bear. It will protect you at all costs. And even if it's a slight perceived threat, it will signal. See, your body cannot tell the difference between a true emergency, a 12-hour shift of emotional labor, back-to-back meetings, an inbox overwhelm, and trying to figure out dinner on your way home. To your nervous system, it's all the same signal. And so it keeps the stress response running, not at full sprint, but a low, steady hum all day, every day. That is what we call chronic stress. And it's not just uncomfortable, it is biologically disruptive in ways I want to show you. Okay, so when cortisol never turns off, your entire system starts to compensate and compensate until it can't anymore. So here's what that looks like physiologically. Your HPA axis, that beautiful feedback loop, starts to dysregulate. Your adrenaline glands get fatigued. Cortisol patterns that should peak in the morning and fall at night start to flatten or invert. Your sleep architecture changes. You might get the hours, but you're not getting restorative sleep. You wake up exhausted. Your blood sugar regulation gets disrupted, which is why you crave sugar at 3 p.m., even when you had a solid lunch. Your body is trying to find fast energy because cortisol has been burning through your reserves. Your gut microbiome, which is directly connected to your nervous system via the vagus nerve, it starts to shift. And this beneficial bacteria declines. That means opportunistic organisms like Candida, they get a foothold. Intestinal permeability increases. That means things can get in that should not. And now you're reacting to foods that you used to tolerate just fine. And systematically, your body is releasing inflammatory cytokines at a low but constant level, and driving the kind of diffused inflammation that shows up all over, like joint aches, brain fog, skin changes, slow recovery. Chronic stress simply equals inflammation. That equals disease. Okay. So none of this shows up on a standard blood panel until it's quite advanced, which is why so many of you have had labs come back normal while your body has been quietly telling you something is wrong. You go to the doctors and you're fine. You're normal. This is the season of life. I am tired and tired. So words bring life and death, so I will not speak death over myself right now and say that typical statement, but I am tired and tired of hearing women and men who are doing everything right and feeling frustrated, confused, defeating because their body still feels like it's off, that it's wrong, and they have no answers from medical professionals, except, again, this is just your season of life. You're in perimenopause, you're in menopause, this is hormones, or here's a pill, here's a pharmaceutical, or here's a surgery. And then they look for answers on socials and from friends, and they try the latest supplement trend or the magic pill because it worked for their influencer bestie. So I'm over it. And we have to get to the root and stop putting band-aids on, or I know you actually and myself, pushing through, just avoiding how I feel. If I'm quote unquote normal and this is expected in this season of life, then I've just got to push through it. I've got to push the feelings down, the pain down, the discomfort down, the feeling of being off down, and just push through. Operating in high functioning fatigue because such is life. So your chronic stress is wreaking havoc. Let's look at what it is doing. These are 6 physical signs of chronic stress overload. I want to read you something and I want you just to notice your body's response as I do. You can put in the chat when something resonates with you. You wake up tired, not the kind of tired that a good night's sleep fixes. You've tried that. This is the kind that follows you into the morning no matter how early you went to bed. Your weight has shifted. You're eating clean. You're doing the right things you've always done, but your body's holding on to the weight in a way that it never used to. And no one has been able to tell you why, besides hormones. Your hormones are off because it's your cycle, because it's your mood, because it's the body's way to regulate, or you've been snapping at people you love without fully understanding why. That irritability is just low grade and it's all counted to hormones. Your gut has been struggling, bloating after meals that didn't seem to bother you, sensitivity that seemed to expand every year, the kind of discomfort you've started to normalize because it's become your baseline. You have sugar cravings you cannot explain. You eat well, you know better, and yet at 3 p.m. or after dinner, something pulls at you that feels almost chemical. And underneath all of it, a low, constant, unnamed sense that something is off. So tell me in the chat, which one or multiple do you recognize yourself in? And I am not describing a weak woman in any of these. I'm actually describing someone who has been under chronic physiological stress for so long that her body has started to compensate in every system simultaneously. And the reason she hasn't gotten answers yet is not because the answers don't exist. It's because no one has looked at the whole picture. Okay, this is where I want to get personal. So, this is me. It's now been about 3 years, but for 18 months, I got sicker slowly, steadily, digestive symptoms that compounded over time until I was left curled up in a ball after dinner every single night. I couldn't tuck my kids in. I had no presents left for my husband. I was a nurse and I know how to take care of others. And I could not figure out what was happening in my own body, how bad I tried. I did eventually identify that it was candida. It was a candida overgrowth. And I treated it and I got better for about 6 months. And then the symptoms started coming back. The headaches, the sugar cravings, the weight that wouldn't move even when I was eating clean as I knew how, the inflammation that would flare for reasons I could not trace. And I kept asking, I eat clean, I move my body, I take supplements. Why is this still happening? I treated this and it was hard work. Well, what I didn't have was the full picture. No standard lab panel, no stool sample, no elimination diet could help me with all the answers I needed. I wanted, I wanted the whole picture. See, I don't want to see out the little window in the back of the van. I want the large front windshield. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like I need to see it all. I know our bodies are complex, and that root was deeper and more complex than a single test could capture. So finally, I got a complete non invasive scan that looked at my entire wellness system at once. And for the first time, I had answers specific, personalized, actionable. I now have hope. I have clarity. I have a treatment plan that I'm 100% confident in. And not because of what I saw trending online, but because I know exactly what my body needs. And that is what I want for every person in this room or watching this replay. So, what I'm about to share with you is not a supplement protocol. It's not another wellness trend. It is a technology backed, personalized assessment of your entire wellness system, and it changed everything for me. What if you finally had the full picture? You stopped guessing, you started knowing. So, the 360 point of view, which is what I call my Holy Well intensive, uses this technology to connect what your body is saying physically, emotionally, and physiologically all at once. What you walk away with is not a list of symptoms, it's not a guess. It's a complete personalized map of actually what's happening inside your body, what is driving your symptoms, and exactly what your system needs to begin healing. It gives answers, clarity, hope, confidence. Those are not marketing words. Those are what I felt when I finally saw my full results. And that is what I want you to feel too. Okay, so let me show you what the scan actually looks like. And I want you to notice how directly this maps to everything we just talked about. The quantum cellular scan is a non-invasive bioresonance device that uses bioresonance full body scanning to determine the root cause of symptoms. It organizes findings into these four categories: stress and nervous system balance. This is where your cortisol burden, remember what we talked about, your HPA axis pattern, your nervous system load all show up. For most of the women I work with, this is the most illuminating category because the scan can reveal stress patterns that have been running in your body long before they show up on a standard panel or the symptoms even present, or you so think so. And we also have immunity and inflammation support. The immune system disruption, the inflammatory markers, the infection load your body may have been quietly managing. I noticed an allergy that I had that my body is fighting. I had no idea I was allergic to it. So your body is protecting you at all times. And this also comes in the form of it fighting when you think you're trying to relax and rest. It's in a fight. And then we have digestion and detox support. So gut microbiome imbalances, detox pathways, burden, food sensitivities, candida. This is where my own results hit the hardest. And then we have hydration, mineral balance, and performance. This micro mineral deficiency and cellular depletion that a lot of us have, that no amount of clean eating fully corrects if the root imbalance is still present. So we have to get to the micro mineral deficiencies that are happening in our own body to support them. And those are huge. Those are really important. And here's what makes me so confident in this technology. The QCS system compares your body's energetic signals against a database of more than 120,000 frequency references. It is assessing over 550 body functions in under a minute. So that might sound like, I don't know, a foreign language, but I want to be clear. This is not a diagnostic test. It does not diagnose disease and it doesn't replace your physician. But this is what I loved and helped me understand the difference between this and traditional blood work. Conventional labs are powerful. However, by definition, they can only detect dysfunction that has already manifested at a biochemical level. So the gap is that conventional labs measure what has happened biochemically, whereas this QCS scan measures what the body's energetic patterns indicate may be developing, often months before the biochemical marker shift. So it can be preventative, early detection. It can show things that your body is out of balance with your frequency, and it's going to show up. This is preventing cancer. People are spotting it before it becomes something, starting it before the infection goes full blown. This is huge. So, what it does is identify where your body appears to be under stress so that when you and I sit down together, we are not guessing. We are working from a complete personalized map. And there's another amazing technology along with it. It's called the voice analysis. It is running alongside the scan. It surfaces the emotional and behavioral patterns underneath these physical symptoms. The perfectionism, the chronic override, the self-abandonment that compounds everything. I could go on with these emotional patterns that you are prone to that this voice analysis picks up. The result is a the result is a wellness snapshot that is completely and specifically for you. Okay, so when you book your Wholly Well Intensive, here is what you will receive. Your whole bio insight scan, so the QCS scan, 20-minute, it's a 20-minute session. That is it. It gives us a full picture before we even sit down together. Then you and I will spend the 90 minutes going over every finding in the scan and answer your questions and have a personalized treatment plan for you. You can also receive your health portal access for private sharing. It's all HIPAA approved and has those regulations. The attitudes and behaviors material that I just mentioned, with support audio files, incredible, and a Storehouse Wellness membership. So it's all one investment, all one checkout, everything's included. And you can ask questions about any of that. And because I want this to be the beginning of your healing journey, not just a one session, your intensive also comes with credit, $200 credit towards Steady, which is my 6-month group coaching program. All right, so let's talk about what people are really saying. So there's a lot of words on this screen, but I highlighted the big ones. So these are real testimony of people that have taken the scan and had the whole treatment plan and their results. So again, the voice analysis that I just mentioned, this person here, client C, says the voice analysis showed me emotions that were out of balance and what areas of my body are now being affected by emotions. So your emotions are energy in motion. Energy, it's flowing through your whole body. It's affecting your organ systems. So this person, client C, was suffering from frequent migraines after doing the scan and realizing realized her body was dealing with a combination of feelings, reactions to allergens, in her environment and the need for certain minerals and amino acids. She replaced those and now she barely has headaches. Okay. Client M, after living years with MS that manifested like Crohn's, which significantly impacted her quality of life. She did the 360 point of view scan and she's able to eliminate foods that she was eating regularly that she didn't know she couldn't, use a probiotic that fit her needs, added branch chain amino acids, and within less than a month, her gut symptoms were gone. Client A, she had a coaching debrief from the attitudes and behavior portion. So the it told you what's going on. And she said, it read my mail. And caveat, same with me. I did the voice analysis and I was like, how did it know that? I hadn't told anyone that, right? So this showed her that she is not a failure, but if it gave her key pivots based on her wiring and that she's not going to fall behind, but she can do this. It gave her encouragement that this is what was going on in her emotions and she can overcome them with some achieving goals and coaching. And then this last client, client R, this is incredible. She had the scan and then she had 1 month of coaching. Within 1 month, she was pain free, zero brain fog, zero headaches, energy was fantastic. And she says mental clarity and energy was improving. She lost a couple pounds and so forth. Then she also said she was telling someone she knew she didn't feel good and it was bad, but she didn't know how bad until she started to feel better. That is huge. Well, after 8 weeks of coaching, she canceled her hysterectomy that was scheduled. She decided not to go through with the surgery. She didn't need it because she had prevented, literally, she had gone through the steps to then prevent the surgery from the surgery needing to be taken place. So incredible. These are not exceptional cases. These are individuals who showed up for themselves, got the full picture, and finally had something they had been missing: clarity, confidence, a plan that was built around their body and their needs, not a guess, not a trend, and not someone else's protocol. This is what I want for you. So here's what I'm offering you. The Wholly Well Intensive is a 647 investment that covers everything you see here on the screen: the scan, the coaching session, the attitudes and behaviors, the membership, the audio files, all of it. So it's over 1,100 investment or value, and you're getting it for 647. You also get the credit. And because I know you have spent your life removing barriers for other people, you have advocated, you have researched, you have fought for patients and loved ones and family. When it comes to yourself, we tend to put it off. And you've told yourself, I'll figure it out someday. You bought the supplements, you tried the diets, you still don't have the full picture. So I want to make this as easy as possible, an easy yes, because you deserve the same level of care that you give out to every single person. So I am doing a 24-hour bonus because I value that you showed up today, that you're watching this replay. So anyone who books their Wholly Well Intensive within 24 hours will receive a private 30-minute check-in session. That's going to be after your initial call so that we can make sure you're implementing, you're troubleshooting, adjust your plan, make sure it's working for you. Answer anything that has come up. Check in with your accountability and your consistency. So that is huge. I'm big on accountability. So this is your accountability check-in for 30 minutes if you purchase within the next 24 hours. And if you have any hesitation, if you're sitting here thinking, is this the right time? I want to ask you something gently, but real. How long have you been putting it off? For me, it was really a total of 3 years. I've been putting off looking at these symptoms. How many more months are you going to put it off? Let me tell you, it is worth it to get the answers and to get them as fast as you can. So before we open up for questions, I want to say something. You are the leader that you are because you have a gift for truly caring for other people. As a nurse, we read people, we catch what others miss, we show up when it matters. As a mom, as a teacher, as whatever your profession is, I know you do the same. But somewhere along the line, in the showing up for everyone else, you stopped being on that list. And your body has not stopped communicating. It's been telling you, it's been patient, it's been persistent, and it's sending you signals through your weight, your hormones, your gut, your sleep, your energy, and it's asking you to pay attention. So, today you gave 30 minutes to listening, and I hope something in this conversation gave you permission to take that next step. So, the link is here on the screen. Again, the bonus in 24 hours. Any other questions that come up, please DM me on Instagram at the Shan Wright. And thank you so much for coming live. And now please unmute if you have any questions. You can also pop them in the chat. And I'll just share one since no one's popping on that I had personally. You know, we mainly do blood work in healthcare. Okay. So I'm like, how accurate is this? Is it more accurate than blood work? And I already went over this a little bit, but I'll just say this technology reads the electromagnetic frequencies that every cell, particle, atom in your body has a frequency. And it reads it in every cell that your body is emitting. Now, when there's an imbalance, whether it's a toxin, a deficiency, an infection, an inflammatory process, that frequency pattern will change. This is what this scan detects. It detects those deviations and tells you of this early stage alteration where blood panels cannot tell you that. And the other thing that that really sold me on this, honestly, was because I know how much all this blood work cost to go to a functional med doctor and get all of this blood work and to get the stool samples and the urine samples and all of that is a pretty penny. And so this is just a fraction of what it would cost to get those answers. So that's just one question that I had myself. Any other questions, you can put them in the chat or, oh, how do you administer the scan when you're not in person? Oh my gosh, did I not say that? This is a complete remote scan. It's 20-minute session over Zoom. You literally use headphones. So once you book the scan, it will mail you the headphones and you put the headphones on and you're over Zoom just like this. And the administrator will administer the scan with you within 20 minutes. Then you get the report and then you meet with me for a 90-minute session to review everything, of course, in a time that meets your schedule and mine. Great question, Tracy. I am sorry if I did not mention that. That's important. There's no labs here. There's no injections. There's no having to leave your house. There's no long doctor's appointments. There's nothing invasive, which is another big perk. When we are in stress and our chronic stress is causing all this health turmoil, when we have to go through all those appointments and go even manage our schedule to try to fit in, I got to order this and I got to go to this doctor and get this referral and do this and this. I'm telling you, that's adding more stress. It's adding more stress. This was the most peaceful experience. I was able to schedule it quickly within the week. I got to hop on for 20 minutes and I was like, oh my gosh, I just got all my answers. And I am now treating those. And I just, like I said, I have so much confidence in what I have received. I've looked at the research. There's a ton more technological information that I could give you, but I did not want to overwhelm you with that. So if you are that person that wants to know the white papers, you want to know the research studies, you want to look at all of it closer, please message me. I can send that to you. I know that we have a level of skepticism when it comes to something like this, but this has been around for a while. It's making huge waves in the holistic space. It's very popular in Europe and it's very developed. This is not a one-time thing that happened. This has been happening and helping people for years. And like I said, it's just making waves here because You know how our healthcare is over here in America. We run through pharmaceutical companies and sick care. And so this is preventative. This is early detection. This is amazing to really help people before they end up in the bed, in the patient bed. Any other questions? I'm going to look here and see if there's any others that I had thought of beforehand. Okay, how is it different from a functional med workup? I had already kind of mentioned that because functional medicine is excellent and I was on my way there. I respect the model deeply. The difference is two things, speed and specificity. So the functional med workup can take months and multiple appointments, and again, a pretty penny, thousands of dollars before you have a complete picture. This scan gives you a full system snapshot in the 20 minutes I just mentioned with no labs to wait on. It is pretty immediate. So the coaching session with me bridges the gap between the results and actually implementing the plan. And for the results, you will, and your treatment plan, I will recommend the vitamins, the minerals, the supplements that fit your profile. You are not required to buy them. You are not pressured in any way. You will receive a discount if you do go through me and purchase them. But if you have let's say, a magnesium that you already love and you take, then continue taking it if it's one of the recommended vitamins. Crazy enough, they say everyone's deficient in magnesium. I'm actually not, so I'm pretty good there. But it depending on what shows up, and as far as your treatment plan, you can say you love Thorn. You love the brand Thorn. That's a clean, good brand. Then you can continue taking those. But now you know that you're not just taking it because someone recommended it or you heard it was a good product to take, it's a good supplement to take, but you need it for your body. You are deficient in that micro mineral. Um, but like I said, some people love to cut out that overwhelm of like, which one do I take? I know there's so many different companies. I know I could get magnesium anywhere. Which one do I need? Which one's going to help me? Which one is clean and good for me and doesn't have fillers in it? And so I will recommend those. So we are affiliated with a few different supplement companies for vitamins and minerals, and we will get you ones that we recommend and are affiliated with, and then you get your choice. Okay, and then here's another question. Do you have to enroll in my full coaching 6-month group coaching program afterwards? The answer is no, absolutely not. It is this intensive is a complete standalone. So you can just do the 647 and get everything with this. But you will have that $200 credit to go into study. And then if you did go into my group coaching program, we would have natural follow-ups as well. Like I would be coaching with you for 6 months so we could be sure that your treatment plan is working for you, you're consistent on it, you're accountable. Study is all about that accountability. It's based off the verse from Exodus 17:12 when Moses was holding up the rod and Aaron and Hur held up his arms. So we are steady helping each other. And so that is the we will work on other things as well, your spiritual, your emotional, your mental wellness. And so that is the benefit of that, but there is absolutely no pressure. All right. I know y'all are busy, and that is actually the last question I'll mention is that um is it I'm so busy. Can I do this? Yes, you can. Can you hop on 20 minutes? I believe you can. Can you do the 90-minute coaching session? You're going to want to know how to implement those results. If you decide, you know what? I don't only have time for 60 minutes. Then we'll do 60 minutes. If you're like, I only have time for 30, we'll do what works for you because then you can make sure you're following the treatment plan. Then you get your things ordered and that's it. You have time for you. Time is a gift. I believe God will give you time to take care of you. That is stewardship. Okay, if you have any other questions, please DM me on Instagram. Any questions at the Shan Wright. The bonus gift expires in 24 hours. The link is on the screen here. And thank you. Thank you so much for being on live. And thank you for watching this replay. I super appreciate you and have a blessed weekend.